Nice way to start off our no show out here. And four good females. The young Manzo wins really easily up front. She's monster chested and still really shaped and ripped up there in her forearm. Get your hands on her. She's got a lot of hair, but she's all there underneath it. She's big racks and big loins and big Indian. I like those things about her. I'd love to take a pair of clippers to this one because I think if you mow down her loin, carve out a stifle shape in her, she looks pretty wild. But for me, I think that extra hair on her leg kind of takes away from her look. It makes her look a little bit puffy jointed. But other than that, that's a really, really nice female to go ahead and win this class. I think the middle pair is very, very close, and I contemplated switching these two. For me, there's just a lot more dough here in the elevated red back one. That one's big backed and really wide over her loin. Up front, she's a little bit too out her chest. For how thick she is up high, she gets a little bit frail over her foot bone size, a little bit rounder in her loin edges too. That's the difference between our class winner and her. But she's significantly wider around her body and thicker than the dough here in third. On the boot, young lady, you have my favorite dough. That one's really shallow, extremely athletic, and really good on the go. I like how level she is. That's the shallowest body dough. I think, if we were to do actual birthdays and maybe even be in a bigger class and competing against those just your size, I think she put a whooping on them. But today, right now, I'm okay with these little ones, but there's just not enough go there. She's really narrow out of the back of her shoulder. She needs more muscle from behind and keep feeding her, but she's really nice. She just needs more power of product. And then the same thing for your dough out here. She's ultra feminine up front, really elegant about her neck and her chest. I like all those things about her. You have a good structurally sound dough as well, with good teeth structure underneath. For me, she needs more muscle. She needs more skeletal width to go any higher. Great class. Let's congratulate all the four of those kids on the jump over.
Second place, Raymond Taylor. Third place, Lindsay Rogers. And fourth place, Colt Gray. Let's give them a round of applause.
At Security Bank and Trust, we bring you the best of both worlds. Personalized service with reliability that you can trust. Since 1928, we've been helping our community thrive by offering exceptional financial solutions, tailored just for you. Whether you're saving for the future or need a loan to grow your business, our friendly team is here to guide you through every step of the way. Visit us today at our Maysville branch, located at 1426 US 68, or give us a call at 606-564-3304.
Very interesting class. We have 5 goes, and 4 of them are very different in their type and kind. The LA goes, Lilith's one out here. But again, I don't size them out because specifically these field shows, they might be a little bit more commercial based, they might be more weather based. These goes we're going to start off with is definitely a weather maker. But I like to compare them. If we were going to throw this one in the market go show, that one's the top 5 goat right there. That one's opened up and really muscular up high. I like how big pin she is. Yeah, she's perfectly square in her hop down to the surface. She's got the most genuine curvature to her upper rib and still balances well from the side. Right there, she looks like $1 million. I like all those things about her. She's not quite as elevated or as maybe as long necked or feminine as the ones in 2 and 3, but pound for pound, she's more genuinely opened up. She's more laid back and able to her shoulder, and she's cleaner in her chest floor while still being more muscular at the same time. That's a nice show there. One that I would like to take home and breed on myself. 2 and 3 get rather close for me. The one here in 2, I think she's a little bit more feminine, refined about her front third. She's longer and just a little bit cleaner about her neck, and I think cleaner about her chest floor. She handles longer in her loin as well, and I think that makes her a little bit more proportional from the side compared to her power up high. She reads a little bit frailer underneath, a little more bucked over in her knee compared to our class winner. Although she's significantly larger, she doesn't grab pound for pound with as much genuine muscle down her top line. She's probably harder handling over her loin, the one right ahead of you. For me, she's the narrowest gauge though, who comes in her hawk from behind. I like to correct her in her top line as well and just make her leveler and more attractive there. Good class of 5. Let's give all those kiddos a nice round of applause.
First place, Amaya Delaney. Second place, Raylan Saylor. Third place, Raylan Saylor. Now entering the ring, Doe 1 to 2 year. Ashley Rogers, Mackenzie Edmonston, Etta Moore, Dylan Bruin, Austin Bluffs, and Amaya
good third class and more mature females out here. And I think three nice females right here in front of me. Women's black-headed goat wins very easily in my mind. For being more mature doe, she handles right on the money up high. I don't think she's overdone or overfinished, or it still doesn't look like she's in her working clothes yet either, which is hard to do and hard to manage. She's still one that's elegant up front, has enough stoutness a feature. I wish maybe she was a little bit stouter, her foot and bone size, but that's getting kind of crazy because that's still not a frail doe by any means. Good looking female here, maybe gets a little plainer up front, but one that's just awfully nice, and man does a great job with the feed bucket. She handles awfully good. One here in second, I can see a more traditional ABGA guy coming in and really tying into this one. I love her height of shoulder. I like her skull shape and just her head about her. I think it reads just really stout and really burly. I think that might be one of the most bigger footed does in the show so far. I like that about her, and she's level made down her spine. When I get my hands on her, she's just a little bit rounder out of the back of her shoulder. She has muscle, but I'd like to see more upstanding muscularity out of the back of her blade there. I'd like to see her wider and square to her edges too, and that's what get her read. But still, a good looking doe that's really stout to her feature. And lady brings me another kind of weather type female out here in third. For being a 1 to 2 year old, I think she's just a scotch too moderate. I'd like to see her longer canyon, just a little bit later maturing. For being one that has some stoutness to feature up high, she reads just a little bit frailer to me. I like to see her around her body at the same time, but still a nice doe that's level made and has a good center rib. One here in 4 is one that's a solid female. She's big-footed, she's round-bodied, she gets a little bit deeper chested and rounder made. I just like to fancy her up from the side and make her leveler and more attractive, but that's going to be a very good production doe that's going to get a good kid out of her, or a few kids out of her every year. Black-headed doe coming out next is ultra elegant from the side, long neck, very feminine headed. This one needs more muscle and rib for me. I like to see her leveler out of her rump structure as well. Young lady does a good job showing that doe out here that wraps up our class. She is extra long neck, ultra feminine, shallow chested. For me though, she ranks 6th in terms of muscle. She gets a little bit round out of her hip as well. Great class. Let's give all 6 of those kids a nice round.
First place, Dylan Bruin. Second place, Austin Blust. Third place, Amaya Delaney. Fourth place, Mackenzie Edmiston. Fifth place, Etta Moore. And sixth place, Ashley Rogers.
Disaster can strike without warning, and when it does, your choice of an insurance agent really matters. At Paul Hall & Associates, we understand the importance of being there when it counts, and our dedicated team will be by your side. You can rest easy knowing that we are your trusted insurance partner for when the unpredictable happens. Learn more about how we can protect you and your family at paulhallinsurance.com. We are Paul Hall & Associates, our family insuring yours.
A round of applause. At the conclusion of this show, we ask nicely that you please pick up all of your items and all of your trash and take it with you.
Good way to wrap up our female show out here with 4 nice does. For me, young man's doe wins rather handedly. She's big chested and really cool looking up front. Got a cobra neck to her and a really thin neck at that. I like that she handles with the most shape up high and has the most muscle when you step in behind her. She's one that's awfully good compared to some of our other class winners. She's maybe not as robust down her top line or out of the back of her shoulder as some. She maybe gets a little bit long and deep about her shoulder, but one that still is very high quality, and a young man does a great job getting her shown off. Young lady here in second with the sandy-headed or freckle-headed white doe is one that profiles extremely good, and I think she's actually stronger out of the back of her shoulder or leveler out of the back of her shoulder than our class winner. She has some stoutness to her foot size as well. Step in behind her. She narrows up a little bit too much in her pin set for me. I like to see her more genuine in the curve to her rib, but a good close pair that I think both of those are very high quality. After that, I think 3 and 4 get rather close. When you say to the goats up front, I think the goat in 3 is actually squarer, more genuine in her knee and squarer in her toe spread. I think she's one that's squarer in her hock and really tall fronted and attractive from the side. Particularly, I think she's more acceptable in regards to her teat structure as well. The one here in 4, big boned, wide made over her rib. I like those things about her. She gets a little bit too deep in her chest for me, gets a little bit too round out of her hip. For me, her teat structure needs to be redesigned in order to be a functional breeding doe, and that's where I'd like to change her the most, all right? Great class of 4. Let's give those 4 kiddos a nice round of applause.
First place, Zachary Pritchard. Second place, Zachary Pritchard. Third place, Etta Moore. And fourth place, Michaela Hausch. Now entering the ring, kids 6 months and under. First place, Dylan Bruin. Second place, Raylan Saylor. Yearlings 7 months to 1 year. First place, Amaya Delaney. Second place, Raylan Saylor. Does 1 to 2 year. First place, Dylan Bruin. Second place, Austin Blust. Doe 2 to 4 years. First place, Zachary Pritchard. And second place, Zachary Pritchard. A reminder, all sales slips are due 30 minutes after the show.
You know, we didn't have a ton of numbers, but the quality is definitely here in our breeding show, all the way from Class 1 to Class 4. I don't have much of a poker face. It really comes down to a pair of them, and I think the toughest classes really are kind of our more juvenile classes out here. But I'll talk the first and second, and then we'll put the mic down and go 3, 4, and 5. But that Class 1 winner is awfully unique and intriguing. She's really opened up, and for being a little bitty gal, she's got some big old feet underneath her. She's fit to a T out here, but when you truly study foot size, she's big boned and actually has some genuine stoutness and feature there. You get your hands on her, she's just not all fuzz. She's got a big back and a big glowing edge laid into her. When we set her into motion, she maybe wants to run downhill just a scotch. She's maybe not quite as opened up, and her lower stifle is the one there in second, or the one out of our Class 2. But one that I think I'd love to clip on and carve some of that stifle and that loin out of her a little bit more. An awfully intriguing doe that has a lot of really good pieces. The one out of her second class is a little bit moderate, but I think she does a lot of really good things for me. She's really, really level down her top line. She grabs like a market goat, yet still has the terminal or the maternal rib and body that I'd like to see in a breeding female. She's one that maybe just isn't the most latest maturing, is a little bit quick, but again, someone's got to produce the winners for the lightweight divisions. I like that doe an awful lot as well. She reads a little bit more common about maybe her front end comparatively to the one that wins our first class. She's maybe not quite as out there in regards to foot size or bone, although she's really, really big racked and wins that contest. She rounds just a little bit, and you can kind of see it there over her loin edge. I think that's a very, very close pair. The second in class number 1's big, stout, and burly. We'd like to adjust her in regards to her chest floor and give her more bone. At a class number 2, that second is just a really maternal, big-bodied, functional type of a female that just maybe runs out of gas in regards to genuine muscularity up high and stoutness of feature. Class 3, that's just a really good managed doe that I think has good muscle up high. I think that's a doe that turns into a weather maker in the future. But again, Father Time's hitting her a little bit harder comparatively to those class first few ones, but I still think that doe's in the hunt for the top 5. A more traditional doe there that was second. I like that young man's red doe. She's extremely level, just doesn't handle quite as massive up high as that class winner, but that's a good doe nonetheless. It's a really stout skull and really big boned. And out of her last class, we got a good handling one that wins that class. It's ultra feminine up front. She wants to round out of her hip a little bit more and get a little bit longer about her shoulder. The second of that one's extra level, and I like her hip structure. Just gets a little bit narrower gauge for me. For me, it's really down to a decision between first and second class, and I'm going to study them just a little bit longer. But let's give these doe exhibitors a nice round of applause. I'll go select your top 5.
Your 2024 Grand Champion Bordeaux goes to Dylan Bruin. Your 2024 Reserve Champion Bordeaux goes to Amaya Delaney. Your 2024 third overall Bordeaux goes to Dylan Bruin. Your 2024 fourth overall Bordeaux goes to Raylan Saylor. And your 2024 fifth overall Bordeaux goes to Raylan Saylor. Give them a round of applause. We ask that everybody please take their belongings with them or their trash.